Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission and Zoning Land Use Commission meeting. We'll go ahead and please stand for the invocation and the pledge. Invocation by Mr. Thibodeau, the pledge by Ms. Poisson.
Lord, we thank you this day for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. And Lord, as we begin to deliberate in the assembly, we ask and pray for guidance, and we ask that you bless what we do here tonight, and we believe it will be beneficial for our parish. God, I'd like to offer a special blessing for Mr. Rembert. We just learned of his passing. We pray for the family, and we ask and hope that you strengthen them, the wife and children, and all of those related, oh God. We thank him for his service in his absence, oh Lord. Again, we pray for his soul, and these and other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to recognize Mr. Kevin Champagne, District 5 Councilman. Thank you for coming tonight. Roll call, Ms. Becky?
Mr. Michael Billiot, Mr. Terry Gold, Mr. Robbie Liner, Mr. Clarence McGuire, Mrs. Angele Poisson, Mr. Jan Rogers,
Here.
Mr. Travion Smith, Mr. Barry Soudier, Mr. Wayne Thibodeau. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Conflict disclosure. I remind the commissioners that if any time tonight a conflict of interest exists, arises, or is recognized as to any issue during this meeting, he or she should immediately disclose it and is to recuse himself or herself from participating in the debate, discussion, and voting on that matter. Does any member have anything to disclose at this time? Seeing none. Need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the Zoning and Land Use Commission of the regular meeting of December the 18th, 2025.
I move.
I have a motion by Mr. Soulier, second by Ms. Poisson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Communications?
No communication.
Okay, thank you. New business, preliminary hearing to rezone from R1 Single Family Residential to C2 General Commercial, 6634 and 6642 West Main Street, Timothy A. Emerson, applicant, and call for a public hearing on said matter for Thursday, February 26th at 6 p.m.
Public hearing be set for Thursday, February.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. McGuire, second by Ms. Poisson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Staff reports?
Yes, sir. So, let's see. So at the last meeting, we were discussing modular structures in residential zone districts. And just to recap that a little bit, we were proposing some revisions to the zoning ordinances, two parts. One had to do with modular home structures and adding that as a use requiring a special exception in R1 and R2 zone districts. And then the other component that we were presenting had to do with accessory structures and adding structure types, shipping containers and office trailers to the list that at that time was just pods. So the commission last month voted, or the motion was to move that accessory structure item onto the council, which we did. So that was introduced to the council committee on Monday night, this past Monday, and that public hearing is set for the 28th of January. And then you guys, in that same motion, had voted to continue the discussion with respect to the modular structures. So that kind of leaves us where we are today. Just a couple of things since then. I tried calling and sent emails to Robbie about, to see if if he had had any discussions with any of you guys, following up on some of the questions you all had. One thing I did find that I wanted to bring to y'all's attention is, in addition to adding the modular home as a use that would require special exception, we had also put together a definition for modular home that we had put into the zoning, and that was proposed as well. Come to find out, we already have a definition of modular home in the subdivision regulations definitions and in the mobile home and residential building park regulations. Now, those definitions in both of those that currently exist in the ordinances are slightly different. I mean, they kind of say the same thing, but the wording's a little bit different. So I think what we would certainly want to do in this process is look at those three definitions and maybe pick a little bit of the best of each and have one all-star definition and just move that to the council, that they would replace those so we have one consistent definition.
Do you want to go ahead and address which Mr. Thibodeau?
Yeah, I did finally get a look at the structure on Central. Is that building addressed on Park or Central?
Well, the lot, okay, so there was a corner lot at Park and Central, and then the owner of that lot acquired the lot behind them. So that lot has its own Central Avenue address, but they have since in turn combined those two lots. So now it's just one big lot. Now, that Central Avenue address may still exist, but they connected that modular structure to the back of the existing structure that's addressed off of Park. So
Yeah.
they basically did an office addition, but used a modular structure
Yeah.
and then incorporated the roof line and the siding and everything into it.
Yeah, I didn't read the definitions you referred to tonight. I will go back and look at them. But, as we, I guess, try to get a grips of this, and I guess there's a lot of discussion about protecting the residential, the R1 neighborhoods. And, you probably need to, and I need to go back and read what you're proposing again. But, we can, maybe if we hadn't included, we need to deal with the aesthetic part of that. Perhaps force these people to make a foundation, and there's, there's maybe some other restrictive things we can do. So the neighborhoods that are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million homes will not be subject to that we see on Central, unless the owners customize that modular and make it fit into that neighborhood. Obviously, the site work and all that stuff has to be right, and then whenever they bring the modular, I guess we need to make sure we can not have that happen again. Apparently, there has been some complaints, or a lot of complaints, about what's been moved there on Central. So I don't. Do you think we have enough now to define modular and what we're trying to accomplish in terms of making the R1 neighborhoods stay intact and not be imposed upon by structures that maybe don't fit?
So just to, with respect to the Central Avenue and that Park site, both of those lots are zoned commercial.
Okay, all right.
I mean, yes, it's right on the edge of a residential, but like most of Park and Main, you've got commercial zone properties along the highway corridor, and then you get one or two lots deep and it transitions to residential. But yes, I mean, that was, basically the primary reason why we started looking into this. And, with respect to your statement about adding or putting in some caveats or some conditions and things, that's why we had recommended that it be a special exception because we're very cautious about having that as an administrative function because it could very easily be considered arbitrary and capricious. The Board of Adjustment, which is where the special exceptions are sent, they have in their powers and duties, it's one of the things specifically states that it would this requested exception alter the character of the district that it's in and the surrounding conforming structures or properties. So they already have, just with that statement alone, have the authority and ability to do exactly what you're saying, is to look around and say, okay, well, all of the houses in this area all have front porches. So we're going to require that this modular home have a front porch. I mean, that's a easy example, but so I that's why we were putting it the way it was. I think we might get ourselves into some hot messes if we try and do that through, just simple zoning. As far as the definitions go, yeah, I mean, if you want to, I'll make, copy. I mean, I'll give you this, forward this email to you, whatever. But I mean, you're looking at section 1726, which is the mobile home park regs. Modular homes means a sectional prefabricated building or house that consists of multiple modules or sections which are manufactured and inspected for compliance with building codes during the course of manufacture in a remote facility and then delivered to their intended site of use. I mean, that's a pretty good definition because that's basically what it is. As the modular home is rolling down that assembly line in that factory, it stops every so often and an inspector comes out and performs an inspection just like he or she would do if they were on a frame house in a subdivision somewhere, right? The next definition is from the subdivision regulation, section 24.3. Modular home is a sectional prefabricated building or house that consists of multiple modules or sections which are manufactured to international residential code requirements in a remote facility and then delivered to their intended site of use. Modular homes are built without axles and are transported by means of a flatbed truck. I mean, like some aspects of that definition, some I don't. I mean, yes, they're built without axles, but maybe there's a modular fabricator who figured out a way it's easier than just to put it on axles for the delivery portion, and then it's removed off and then set solid on a foundation. It's still what makes a modular home or structure, I should say, whether it's a house, you could have commercial modular as well, has nothing to do with really how it's delivered. It has everything to do with the level of construction. It's built to international building code standards, and this definition uses international residential code requirements. Well, I just stated, and even in this definition, it says building or house. I mean, what if it's a commercial? It's not going to be built to residential code. It's going to be built to commercial. And then the definition we were proposing is much shorter. A prefabricated structure built to international building code standards, assembled on site from factory built modules. The end. But I think there's some commonality in all three of those, and that's why I think we could, pick a little bit out of each and come up with one, and then just use that in all three locations.
But let me, I noticed that one, the one in question on Park and Central, it's not on a slab. It's just, I guess it's on whatever.
It's on a engineered foundation.
But if we force those buyers to place them on slab, is that arbitrary and capricious?
Well, again, it'd be the Board of Adjustment. I mean, okay. So, yeah, that one, a lot of the houses in that area, that's an older subdivision. So a lot of the houses are block and pier and that kind of thing.
Correct. I noticed
So that's
that today.
that, and the home, the structure that they connected that to is a law office, but it was a house before it was that.
Right.
So that I'm sure that's why they did it that way. But it would be one of those things that, again, the Board of Adjustment would look around and say, okay, well, all the homes in this area are built slab on grade, so slab on grade.
And finally, I noticed that, the basic models, probably some of them you can get for under $100,000, but then upwards of $750,000,
Yeah.
those that you want to customize. So I guess it's gonna require us to have some more thought about it and make sure we get the best definition we can. And sounds like you don't want to do too much administratively and leave it mostly to the Board of Adjustments to determine when it's appropriate or where it's appropriate to have one and how. Sounds like that's kind of where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Public?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's still
anyone
a
from the
public hearing
public?
was
Okay,
continued. so-
Anyone from the public? Need you state your name and address, please?
Kevin Champagne, 8326 Main Street. So you're right, I did get many calls about the Central Avenue structure, but that's not the only issue. There was also, in Lisa Park, there was some tiny accessory structures that's y'all are dealing with that was put in behind a house, a newer house. Had to be higher than the house, and it was looking into the neighbor's house, and those things. So and I asked Chris to create, because I got calls, that structure was transported on axles to the site, which in our terms made it a mobile home versus a modular home. And so I just asked Chris to create a better definition. It's clean. I also fear that there's going to be other types of buildings that they're thinking of building now that we don't even know about that they can fabricate, There's going to be newer things coming out. And so I think we need to kind of think a little ahead to what may be coming in the future also that may be coming into our parish. I don't know. And so that's how I kind of got involved, because we did get lots of calls from that community about that situation. But it turned out that they made it look aesthetically nice, so anyway. But that was my part in pushing from the public standpoint, so. Any questions for me? Darren, you want to talk?
Yeah, I was
What-
Hold on, Mr. Champagne.
Yeah. Mr. Kevin, where's that Lisa Park one that ultimately you said they made it look pretty nice? I'd like
No,
to-
no,
No,
that's
it's,
the
that was
Cincinnati.
Cavaness, but it's an accessory structure, and they were like more tiny home kind of situation, and they were on axles, and they were, but the problem is that they had to be built to a different code than the house was, so it's elevated, and aesthetically does not look anything like any other house in that street. So,
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, name and address, please?
Karen Schilling, 511 Wilson Avenue. I was the person that instigated a lot of, I think, what's being discussed tonight. I live in that neighborhood, and of course, the weekend that all this happened with the structure that actually looks really nice now. But we had a group of people several years ago walk the neighborhood to get a petition or something to prevent a trailer park from being put in our neighborhood. And of course, those people who worked and put their blood, sweat, and tears into that action were extremely concerned that everything they had done was for nothing. So it's been an education. I will tell you, one of the big concerns for our neighborhood is that we live in a neighborhood that still has a lot of storm damage and a lot of neglect and derelict properties. And of course, Mr. Pulaski knows that I've been very involved in channeling my inner Kathleen Cuneo, who did that for our neighborhood for a long time. She helped identify things that needed to be fixed. But the concern is that some of these derelict properties, people might see putting a trailer or a mobile home that would not meet the neighborhood standards, that we would then have issues with our property values and other things that would possibly come along. So Mr. Pulaski has done a great job in keeping me informed of everything, sat with me before the last use meeting, and has been very good about keeping me abreast of everything going on. And I think our neighbors will be very happy. Our neighbors on Central Avenue have done a really nice job the law firm has done a really nice job, and I think that they have a plan together to make it look nice and to integrate it into our neighborhood. We're a neighborhood that's bordered by a lot of law firms, and they all have taken great pride in making their places look beautiful. What we saw that weekend didn't look like it was going to measure up to what it is, but it is, I think it's going to be. So, and then I want to also applaud the council and the administration for eliminating a lot of the backlog of derelict and condemnable structures. I understand that we are very close to being able to say we've taken action on all of those, and I think that will help prevent people to be tempted to take these structures that maybe are not in great shape and then put something there that might be equally less desirable if it doesn't meet neighborhood standards. So I thank you all for really considering this and for taking, thoughtful action to really address this and make sure that you're not going to see me in 20 years saying, hey, we're going to go back and do this again. So I thank you very much for paying attention to this and for Mr. Pulaski and his department. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other people from the public? Second call, public? Third and final call, public,
And look, can we continue it? Or,
for a definition?
or do we have an instrument that's final?
Well, the definition is something that I think we need to clean up.
Yeah, I'll move to continue the public hearing
Okay. Want to continue?
till we clean up the
Okay,
definition.
I have a motion by Mr. Thibodeau, second by Mr. McGuire to continue the public hearing for our definitions, or clearing of the definitions.
Just continue the public.
We're going to continue the public hearing and the agenda item as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Commissioner comments? Commissioner have any comments? No? I have none. Any more public comments on land and zoning? Need a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion by Ms. Poisson, second by Mr. Thibodeau to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Tell me when you're ready, Becky.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, we'll go ahead now and convene as the Regional Planning Commission. We'll have the invocation by Mr. Thibodeau and the pledge by Mr. Soulier. Another meeting.
Lord, again, we thank you this evening for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. Lord, we ask and pray for the soul of our fallen brother, Mr. Ken Rambert. And Lord, as we deliberate this evening, we pray and believe that what we do here tonight will be beneficial for our parish. We ask that bless the assembly in its entirety. These and other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Becky?
Mr. Marriott? Mr. Gold? Mr. Liner? Mr. McGuire? Mrs. Poisson? Here. Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Soudier?
Here.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Conflict disclosure. I remind the commissioners that if any time tonight a conflict of interest exists, arises, or is recognized as to any issue during the meeting, he or she should immediately disclose it and is to recuse himself or herself from participating in the debate, discussion, and voting on that matter. Does any member have anything to disclose at this time? Seeing none. Approval of the minutes of the Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission for the regular meeting of December 18th, 2025. Moved by Mr. Soulier.
Second.
Second by Ms. Poisson. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item E.
Item E, a motion to approve remittance of the payment for the January 15th, 2026 invoices and the treasury report of December 2025.
Have a motion by Mr. Soulier, second by Mr. McGuire. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Communications?
Wait,
There's still a,
item, discussion and possible
What's that?
action regarding the acceptance of the Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire for 2025 audit.
Yes, sir. I'd like to offer motion that we approve the proposed submission to engage.
A second?
Okay, motion by Mr. Thibodeau, second by Mr. Soulier. Any other discussion? No discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Communications?
no communications, sir.
Thank you, sir. We have no old business, so item G1, new business, track B into lots TS and track B2A, Village East Shopping Center, process D minor subdivision 9475, East Park Avenue, Terrebonne Parish, Council District 1, Village East Fire District, Mainland, Houma, Louisiana LLC, Surveyor Linefield, Hunter and Juniors. Yes, sir. State your name and address, please.
Vincent Lico and 3608 18th Street. Civil engineers and surveyors representing the client for track B2 and here to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, I'll call for a public hearing. Anyone? Come state your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Larry Babin. I live at 64 Kirkland Loop. These are all residents that live on the street is right behind where the Tractor Supply and Broughton's and all is. We got a letter from the council, which we thank for sending it, wondering why nobody was notified when they wanted to put the Tractor Supply there. We were first under the impression that Rouse's was building their new store right there. And then we found out that, no, it's a Tractor Supply, which was fine, but I don't know who's responsible for either the contractor or subcontractors, or when they were building it, the drainage was very horrible. The people behind me's backyards all flooded for several days, damages. Now that everything is finished, it looks nice, and it's a nice store. But why was nobody notified for that, or who should have? I don't know if it was y'all, the planning commission. But now they're saying they want to sell the lots that you're showing up there. Are they planning on just selling it and for future development, or they want to build something up there, that we don't know about? Is that going to affect us, the more drainage, or, I mean, it has to be hooked up to our sewer lines, and stuff. So, are we going to be told, if, we can come before the planning commission again, if they're planning on building something? We heard that there was some talk about putting a Starbucks in the front.
Okay.
We're kind of in the dark,
Right.
a little bit.
I would assume that we would have notified when Tractor Supply was built. No?
Okay. No, we didn't know anything about.
Do you want me to reply,
yeah,
or do you want
yeah.
to keep going with more
Okay,
comments?
Yeah, okay. If somebody else needs to,
Yeah.
and then Chris will, go ahead and answer the
Either
questions.
me or the applicant.
Or the applicant, right, okay. Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
My name is Jay Celestine. My address is 61 Kirkland Loop. I'm directly behind the store. And I've been there for 29 years. We've never had standing water there before. Okay, now that it done caused some property damage with flooding my shed and cracking the cement in my sidewalk all the way to the shed and inside the shed. They drove about 40 to 50 pilings back there, shaking everything. I don't know what kind of damages we are, the detail of them, but we do have damages from them breaking up things with all the shaking. I mean, in my shed, they knocked my light down in my shed. The councilman is aware. But we need to know the steps that we need to take to get these damages fixed.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am. Okay.
My name is Judy Thomas. My address is 63 Kirkland Loop. Like he said, we never had water before on our property. And the water was all the way to back, all the way up the driveway. And all of a sudden, my driveway is cracking. And like you said, you don't know what kind of damage you have on your slab on your house. And every day that they was back there working, 6 days a week, from 7 to wherever, I never had, you can rain and go cut my grass. It never was wet in the back. But now I says, you done paid for your house and you got all this and nobody told you anything. The only thing I knew that they was doing, I saw the tree down. And I said, what happened to the tree? They never told us a thing. But I always thought when you're working in a neighborhood, you're supposed to let people know what's going on. And I don't think that's fair. Because with my age, I'm not buying another house. I sure hope not to. And I don't know what kind of damage I done had already to my house. And we need to know what they're gonna do about the damage that we have. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I live at
Name and
50 Kirkland Loop. My name's Lori Elderton. My mom and dad had this house for over 20 years. Never saw the water I saw during this last rain. Never. Put Tractor Supply in, we're flooding back here. I wish I could have got the pictures from off my phone and the videos. I had to actually go down Westwood and come around to my house. We have never had that. My mom and dad's been there since Hurricane Katrina and Rita. Over 20 years. And we got more water standing now than we ever had. I was never in a flood zone. Now I'm in a flood zone. Y'all keep developing. But what about us homeowners? My house is almost paid for. You think I want to start over at 54? No. I inherited the house. Don't get me wrong, I did. But I'm also paying a note on it. I don't want to have to start over at my age. And what they're going to keep doing is they're going to keep developing and we're going to keep flooding. The more y'all develop, we have sewer issues now in the subdivision. I've had them come out to my house twice already. Pollution control. Sewer is backing up in a hard rain. That's not healthy for us. So, what is the plan and the commission going to do? You know? Like Mr. Wayne said, and this lady, you know, her house is paid for. She don't want to start over either. I don't want to start over. I don't want my kids to have a rundown house after a while because the foundation's all broken under it. And I do have damage in my house. I have damage on my sidewalk. I've even tried to get somebody to put street lights back there since I moved in because it's dark on that street. We're going to get to it. Never did. Where I'm at, I'm pitch black. If I come home, I don't know who's lurking in the dark around my house. But y'all steady building in the front of us. We have water that was standing from the McDonald's all the way up
Motion is
Prospect.
Okay. Okay, Move to extend.
Extend.
A minute?
Second.
Second. A motion by Mr. Sule, second by Ms. Bledsoe. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead.
You know, when I came home, I had water all the way up Prospect. Coming down the street. So are we gonna keep doing this with us? And y'all know this is not my first time with y'all, because I was on Hidalgo when Hidalgo started flooding. Now I moved to town and I'm having the same issue. So I want some action done to this, because I don't want to keep riding my cars through water. You know, we need drainage in the front of the subdivision, by the McDonald's and by the Convenience King.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if we don't get it, we're gonna keep flooding back there. You know. So the development, if they want to develop, have them fix what's back. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Yes, ma'am. Name and address, please.
It's Linda Babin. I live at 64 Kirkland Loop. I just want to give a little bit of history about the neighborhood. Larry and I built our home, before we built the home in 1973, we drove all over the parish to find a place to build where they had good drainage. Because I'm from Montague. Our family home has flooded a lot. It's like 15 foot off the ground now, but it flooded a lot. So I wanted security about flood. So we found this area to be one of the best areas in town during a hard rain, where there was really good drainage. What happened? Y'all calling this Village East Shopping Center? Village East Shopping Center was across Prospect, where Dave's Village Drugs was, and the Texaco station was, and the little convenience store was right there. That was Village East Shopping Center. Village East consisted of Lafayette Woods, Friends Wood, and Carriage Cove. I'm 75 years old. We moved into our home in 1973. I know the history. I can tell you who lived in these people's homes before they did. Something needs to be done, because it keeps getting worse and worse. It wasn't like that when we built our home and we moved in. It was not like that. There was no flooding along the back street. No flooding in our streets. No flooding in the backyards. Do something, please.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Celestin. I live at 61 Kirkland Loop. All I want to say is,
The light turned off.
okay, I need to start over.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
You're
my
good.
name is Kathleen.
It keeps turning off.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, good now.
Okay, my name is Kathleen Celestin. I live at 61 Kirkland Loop. We was never aware that Tractor Supply was coming, but while they was building and doing all the things that they was doing, they started digging holes in the backyard, because my backyard, I can open a gate and they right there in my backyard. And they had holes. We didn't even know they dug holes right in the backyard. My husband was getting ready to cut the grass, and good thing it was the holes must have been about 3-4 feet deep, and good thing he would always go in the backyard, and we was like, okay, you got a hole there. He never, but just like that, could have walked in there and, I ain't gonna say drowned, but could have, got hurt. But like I said, they've been driving pollens for days. And like I said, we had water all over the ground. All the kids' toys got wet. A lot of the neighbors been complaining about their foundation and everything. But like I said, we was never aware of it. They should have notified us that Tractor Supply was coming.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Second call, public. Third and final call, public. Mr. Pulaski, can we address? Motion to close?
I move.
Mr. Sulier, moved by Mr. Sulier, second by Mr. McGuire. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Pulaski?
Okay, well, before I get into the staff report, I just wanted to
Yeah.
respond to
Some of the
some of the
questions.
comments and everything. With respect to public notice requirements for this property, so you all tonight got letters, well, you didn't get the letters tonight, but you got letters because tonight on the agenda, what they're proposing to do is carve out the property. It's kind of easier to see on this one. So the area that's not colored in, that's not shaded in, is not a part of the Tractor Supply property. That's a separate lot altogether, separate owner and everything. What they're looking to do, of course, and you guys I'm sure have seen, they're basically looking to do a similar size lot to the left of that. Okay. But and that's why you got the letter that you did, because this is a subdivision of property. So by law, we're required to provide public notice. Now let's back up to when they were going to build the Tractor Supply. At the time they built the Tractor Supply, and actually today, as we're sitting here right now at this moment, what's shaded in is the shape of that lot. There was no subdivision being performed at the time that they were building the Tractor Supply. So there was no public notice requirement. They had to get a building permit, of course, and go through all those approval processes, but there's no public notice requirement for to obtain a building permit. Now, sometimes to get a building permit, they might have to get some sort of special approval, or maybe they need this, that, or the other, that then does trigger a meeting either in front of the zoning commission or the board of adjustment. But this area is not zoned, so that's not part of it. Like if this was in the zoned areas, their parking lot's more than 50 spaces, so they would have had to have parking plan approval. But this area is not zoned, so that didn't happen. So that's why you all didn't receive the notice for that. With respect to damages to the properties, I heard, talk about foundations and driveways and other things, whether it be from the piles being driven or what, the statement was, but that's a kind of part of the construction process, driving piles and things like that. So if, there's nothing that the parish has in terms of the planning commission that would address that. I think if you feel that you have that issue, that's more of a civil matter. You're going to have to take that up for yourself and address that with, the property owner, the developer, the contractor, what have you. Drainage. Okay, so this, when Tractor Supply was going through the permit process, they submitted a drainage plan to the parish. And so the parish engineering department, working with the engineer for that project, they had to follow our drainage requirements. And so that's why they constructed that large retention pond or detention pond towards the front of the Tractor Supply lot. This is an old aerial photo, so none of that shows up, of course, but it's faint in this plat, but it's there. And at the time that was done, that pond was also designed to accommodate this proposed subdivision lot, this proposed lot towards the front. So that's why they didn't, you'll hear in the staff report that drainage calculations weren't required, because let's say they build whatever they build on this proposed lot, the drainage for it would be accommodated in that detention pond. It's accounted for because it was part of the big lot at the time. But commercial building permits, those drainage plans, once the job is done, the project civil engineer has to submit a letter of substantial compliance to our engineering department, basically stating, hey, what was built out there is in compliance, in conformance with the approved drainage plans. So if you guys are experiencing standing water, something's not right there, because the approved drainage plans would not have allowed for that. So either they didn't do something according to plan, or something's happened out there. So I'm gonna certainly have to pass that information on to our engineering department so they can follow up with the project engineer. Pollution control, there was some talk about that too. Now, pollution control did submit a will serve letter as part of the requirements. So they've stated they can accommodate the future development of this proposed lot towards the front. But I'd also like to let you all know, and Mr. Wayne, you've been tracking this one for a while too. One of the community development block grant disaster recovery projects, which is the IDA recovery money that we got. One of the 28 projects is Village East wastewater master plan and improvements. We're talking about doing a wastewater master plan parish-wide, but there's also a different project that is specific to Village East, because pollution control is aware of all the issues that you guys are experiencing out there. So that project is underway. They're doing the study master plan, determining what all the problem areas are, what the problems are, and then part of that project will, of course, address those problems. And that, because it's the IDA recovery money, that money has to be spent and closed out by November 14th, 2027, which may still sound like a year and a half away, because it is, but we're going to blink and we're going to be on top of it. So it's going to go by real fast. So I would expect you guys will start seeing and hearing a lot about that, certainly in the coming months. Those are my responses to what I was hearing tonight. But as far as the staff report goes, this is a minor subdivision process D to create a new out parcel lot for commercial use. The lot configuration and layout meet the parish subdivision regulation standards for development. Engineering has confirmed that drainage calcs are not required. Not all utility letters have been submitted, and additional required information needs to be placed on the plat. All public notice requirements have been met. We did receive one inquiry for additional information at the time. The comments we're hearing tonight are new. So staff recommendation is approval on the following conditions: that municipal addresses for proposed tract B2A be placed on the plat, and the submittal of all utility service availability letters.
I think Mr. Celestine had the public hearing is closed, so.
If you call for her because you have a question for her, you can, but there's no public anymore.
So. Go ahead, Derek.
If someone from the commission has a question for Ms. Celestine, y'all can call for her, but the public itself is closed.
Okay.
So if you have a question, you can ask her the question.
I don't have a question. He may have a question.
But you might be interested in what she wants to know, I guess I'm saying. But if not, then,
Huh?
Exactly.
I
That
have
could
no
be your
questions.
question.
So, okay, so Mr. Celestine, do you have a question for us?
Well, I have something to say about the retention pond. Yes, they did put one in the front. But what the property does is it comes up like this. Yes, the water's draining to the front, maybe to the retention pond, but it falls back on the other side towards our side. And there's nothing back there, and y'all need to know this. And this is why we flood. And that's what I needed to say about that.
Okay. So I guess in that situation right there, there's no drainage,
No.
catch basins, whatever, on the backside of your property?
No. See,
Okay.
from the road, it comes up and it falls.
Yeah, come back to the mic.
Yeah. Yeah, what it does, the property, when you come in, if you notice, you're gonna come uphill,
Right.
going to the tractor supply. But once it reaches peak, it falls back down to our side, which we are further to the back side. And that's where our problems occurring.
I know what he's talking about.
I just wanted y'all to know what's
Okay,
really going on.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Back to the engine, yeah. So do we have anything else for the engineer?
Yeah, just like to reiterate.
Oh, sorry.
Vincent Lico, 3608 18th Street. Just to reiterate what Mr. Pulaski was saying, like everything is pretty much designed with the approval of the engineering report, and with the utility will serve letters with pollution control. They also approved it. And I would like to say that there is a depression in the rear of the property, and there is actually drainage that connects to the front pond as well. So that is actually in place.
Thank you. Okay. Any other commissioners? Comments?
Could you come back, sir?
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yeah, I guess, you know, I hear about the pile driving. I guess that was considered what, impact pile driving?
No, that's not him.
That was for Tractor
That was for Tractor Supply.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He's the-
yeah. Well, we're representing the client who owns the property. And yeah, that was actually done during construction, and I guess that would be up to the contractor, his means and methods on how that was performed. So I wouldn't have
But
exactly.
this was related to the complaint
Okay,
these
yeah,
people making
yeah,
about
okay.
pile
I
driving,
thought,
right?
I thought
He's
you
the-
were representing just that front corner.
Or yeah, this is the same property owner.
Okay.
But yeah, as I stated, that was the contractor, and his means and methods might have been. I'm not exactly sure what his means and methods were.
I guess what, I mean, obviously it doesn't sound like any geotechnical investigation was done about the soil and everything else.
There may have been, but
Well-
we're not here to talk about the construction of the Tractor Supply. We have no information
Well,
about that.
I'm here to talk about the complaint these people
Yeah.
are making. I mean, it was part of the agenda item. They made the complaint, so I'm just trying to figure out what was done to mitigate the vibration that comes from impact pile driving, if anything. Maybe he knows. Nothing?
Like I said, it's the contractor who
Okay.
built the tractor supply. It's up to him, and
All right.
it's his means and methods.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr.
You
McCoy.
made mention that,
Click you speak.
it's on.
He's
huh?
on.
Yeah, it's on. You made mention that you made mention that the drainage was there to help them. You say it was draining to the front of that pond, to that pond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have y'all taken pictures as far as when a hard rain would come to see what that looks like for those individuals back there?
Not us specifically.
Is that something, Chris, that can actually take place where they having some type of proof that this is actually happening?
Well, certainly I would say for the folks who live along there who are experiencing that, by all means, take photos and send those in.
Okay.
And they may have already been doing that. You know, they did mention something that their councilman was aware of it. So they may have already been sending pictures to Mr. Pledger. And it's something, you know, I'll follow up with him to to see if he's gotten any information like that. But I want to pass all of this on to our engineering
That's correct.
division, because they're going to be the ones to address that and ensure that everything's done like the plans are, the approved plans were.
That's fine. Thank you, man.
Any other comments? I'm gonna need a motion. Need a motion for something to approve by.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I make a motion.
It appears that somebody else wants
Oh,
I just want to say.
yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to say,
yeah, name and address.
Judy Thomas, 63 Kirkland Loop. He says the water, they put something in the front, but water don't run uphill. It runs down here. So the water that he's talking about, that they had the property was way up anyway, so it couldn't run to the front. It had to run to us. And the whole backyard, up to my back door, had water. All the driveway had water. So you look at that, that's running downstream, not up. I've never saw water run upstream in my life. It always run down. So I don't understand. I really don't. So that's my
Derek?
fault.
I
Mr. Boucher?
I had more of a question. Chris, you had talked about the concerns they've had and contacting engineering.
Mhm.
After it gets to engineering, is there any way for the residents to be aware of what engineering says? Either, they're gonna have to fix it, or there's something they're not aware of that it actually, I'm not gonna pretend to understand the geotechnical issues here, but is there any way that we can follow up with them or engineering can follow up with them so that they know that the parish is taking the next step that they want? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would just suggest that they contact my office and give us contact information for them, and then email would probably be best, and then that way we can send out once we have some sort of resolution or response or whatever the case may be from engineering, we can provide that information to them. And we'll inform the councilman as well, so in case
pleasure.
folks who aren't here tonight, because I'm sure you guys are gonna go talk to your neighbors when you get back about what happened tonight, so we wanna make sure that Brian's informed of what's going on too, in case he gets calls.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any motions?
My office number, folks, is well, it's probably on the letter that you got, right? Our office number is on their letter? The letter that they received? Yeah. Yeah. But I'll give it to you. There's actually Becky's number and then my office's number. Either one will get to me, but my office number is 873-6569. 873-6569. And if you just tell whoever answers the phone, that you're calling about the Tractor Supply property, I'll know what that means.
I would need a motion or whatever.
I think there was a motion, right? Did you make it? No.
He started to, but stopped.
Okay. Barry started to make it.
Okay. A motion to approve per staff recommendation,
That's good. That's it.
That's
Okay. I have a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Soulier, second by Ms. Poisson. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Show Mr. Thibodeau nay. Motion carries.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Only 4 members.
It's majority of the quorum, not majority of the board.
4-1. Okay. Okay, staff report.
Okay, just a
H.
reminder for those who still have yet to complete the ethics and sexual harassment training for 2025. Terry Gold and Travion Smith. As far as the planning commissioner training that's required, we have Terry Gold, Robbie Liner, Clarence McGuire, Travion Smith. First, the ethics and sexual harassment training is offered online anytime you want. The other training is typically offered on the tail end of the planning conference, the state planning conference, or the national. But if there's a significant number of people, we can look at arranging a training session with the folks here in the region that do that. If anybody's interested, just let Becky know and we can set it up.
I did speak to Mr. Black 2 weeks ago, and he said that he was going to contact someone to put it out where they could get, they do have another trainer that they could utilize. He said there may be a small fee, but it might be something easier to get done than just doing Terrebonne Parish.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
So-
usually what they'll do. If you all contact them, then they'll usually call around to some of the other planning commissions and try and wrangle up as many people as they can.
Well, he said he was going to look into it.
Okay. The other item too, I had passed out before the meeting a little flyer. On that flyer, there's a QR code to a survey, an online survey. We also have project boards on display in the permit lobby, and we're going to be putting some things out on the parish's social media and stuff. But that's representative of. We were out this past Saturday at the Weenie Spaghetti Festival, tabling, going around surveying folks in the crowd. But we're going to have that survey available online through the end of February, and it has to do with one of the other CDBG DR projects. This one is the Main Street Complete Streets Improvements. So this is the improving the safety, walkability, streetscape of Main Street. That project is from St. Charles Street to Howard Avenue, and then of course the core area of the downtown. So that survey it's pretty short. So it's intended just to kind of get a general idea of what's important to you, what you would like to see. So I'd encourage you all to take a look at it, share it. That survey flyer is being circulated to the businesses downtown so they can post it in their storefronts and stuff so their customers can go in and do that. So we're just trying to get some foot traffic to that survey.
I'm sorry, I turned it on.
Is this the same project we talked about before where it stopped at?
Can you request to speak again, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Gotcha. Is this the same project that we talked about before as far as it was stopping at, what's the shopping center? That's Stanley.
Oh, that's Stanley.
So there's the Houma Restoration District,
Okay, that's what.
and that their boundary is Morgan Street. So
No, okay.
Old That Stanley is just outside of that. But to answer your question, yes, that project does include the portion of Main Street in front of that Stanley.
Okay.
And another CDBG DR project that we're going to be, they're actually going around surveying, interviewing the commercial property owners along the corridor, including the guys that own that Stanley, is a facade improvement program whereby they can basically get a grant. There's no match or anything required, and they can make improvements to the facade of the structure or the property. So like if somebody wanted to do signage, or they wanted to clean up the front of the building, or resurface or restripe the parking lot, or landscaping, anything having to do with the exterior, except for the roof. Roof repairs aren't eligible, and any interior work is not eligible, but the rest is. That's another DR project, and that corridor, the same, St. Charles to Howard is part of that, but that project, the facade one, also is Howard Avenue from Main to East Tunnel, and then it's East Tunnel to West Tunnel, and then West Tunnel to along St. Charles Street back to Main. So it kind of makes a big
How
loop.
can they apply for that?
Well, we'll have it available online, and then they,
Okay.
but the consultants who are heading that project right now are going around contacting as many of those property owners, commercial property owners, to talk to them about, hey, what kind of, if you were to receive this grant, what kind of improvements would you look to make? They want to make sure that what everybody's looking to do is eligible.
It's just commercial.
Just commercial, and fraternal organizations like the guys over at the corner of Lafayette and Bond. I can't remember the name of the lodge. Yeah, that's it. That one. They would be eligible. So, fraternal organizations, those guys, Elks Lodge, people like that, that would be eligible too.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, going on to administrative approvals.
Make a motion to approve items I, 1, 2, and 3.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Poinson, second by Mr. Thibodeau. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Committee reports. Subdivision
meet.
did not meet.
No, sir.
Planning Commission comments?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Thibodeau.
Yes, sir. Mr. Director, you said a few things already about the master plan or the CDBG disaster recovery wastewater commitment. So would you say a little bit more globally about how that's going and what we expect to gain from this ultimate study?
So the parish-wide study is being performed. The consultant firm that's performing is called Greenbrier, and they have assembled a team. One of the members of that team is Mr. Al Leveron. So
Very good.
Al, of course, knows pretty much everything there is to know
That's
about the
correct.
parish pollution control
That's correct.
wastewater system, right?
Right.
So they are in the process of, assessing all the existing conditions, looking to identify problem areas, looking to identify where the critical areas are for expansion, and what that's going to look like. Again, that is a largely a master plan process. There is some money at the tail end that can be used for implementation. It certainly wouldn't be enough, to do community or parish-wide community sewer. But they'll use as much as they can towards it. But it at least give pollution control a better path forward so that they can budget accordingly and sort of prioritize those projects. Now, the project dashboard that we all will be able to access and see at a glance, what the project's all about, get a good idea of the scope. You can see what's been budgeted, how much has been spent, with whom. You can see the status of the project, where it is in the process, all of that. Um, Jason and I and others met on Monday just to get an update on how soon they're going to be able to launch that. It's looking like it's going to be real close. I think I've said that before.
You did.
But um, at any rate, I don't have a specific release date, but hopefully, I know Jason's chomping at the bit. I think he's ready to say, "Okay, guys, pencils down. Let's roll with this thing."
Yeah. I would just, the area where I live, or I would say from the overpass north, um, probably our prime areas, given the development that's taking place and all right now. And so maybe you can communicate to that team, and Al knows well, not to rule out rural development as a part of the process of implementation once we decide who would be first, or where we would first try to implement a community sewage project. Obviously, parish-wide, we're not going to be able to do it all at once. So there might be some folks on a list of 10 that we're going to start out, well, let's do Gray first, or wherever the case may be. But let's not forget that there are some other funding options besides the CDBG-DR money. Okay?
Right. And future land use is one of those things that group is looking at.
All right.
So that, if they look to expand into certain areas, that they do that with that in mind. Also, we're looking for projects that complement each other. Like, for example, the dredging projects that are going on. Rather than, I know the focus for the Bayou Terrebonne dredging is just to get into that north end, because that too is part of the problem. I mean, it's one symptom, right? I mean, it's, the water quality in the bayou could certainly be improved as well as the flow.
Yeah, it's a dead bayou up north.
Yeah.
They're catching redfish in Montague.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thibodeau. Okay, Commissioner comments anymore? Just a reminder, next month's meeting will be on February the 26th. We moved it back 1 week due to Mardi Gras. Any more public comments? Motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Soulier, second by Mr. Thibodeau. to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah, we was talking about that,